Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is B from Kongs R Us, and welcome to The Next Level. This is my weekly podcast show where I bring you next level things, guests, community members, and this time around, I have some exciting video footage to share with the community. This is my experience playing the Arcade1Up Killer Instinct PCB and control panel last week with John D at his office. And so it's been a week, exactly 1 week ago today. I visited John D at his Union City office. It was an awesome experience. I can't say enough about the hospitality of that guy. He was awesome at hosting, and he had the PCB. And at the time, he didn't even know how to pull off a combo. I had to show him the ropes a little bit and say, hey, here's how you pull off the only combo I know how to do with Orchid. And I saw him posting some footage later on that I was like, hey, I think I taught you that. But he has good fundamentals. The guy knows how to play fighting games. And I can give you my short, honest opinion about it. But I thought, what better way to look at that footage and talk about the game by bringing in some of the most well-known experts of that game in the community. I couldn't think of anybody better than this guy who has killer in his actual name itself. Chris from Killer Arcade Games. What is going on, man?
What's up, B? Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks, man. So Killer Arcade Games, for folks that don't know who you are, would you mind doing a quick intro about your channel and kind of, I know you're all about KI because you have the KI cast behind you. So give
Oh
everybody a
yeah.
rundown of who you are.
So I'm Chris. I started this channel kind of by accident. I really wanted to have a killer instinct in my house since 1994. It was unrealistic to have a full-size one, so I threw a PC inside of a Street Fighter and turned it into a killer instinct, and then my channel was accidentally born. And from there, I've just kind of done whatever, just live streams. I've been trying to do some killer instinct tutorials for you guys who might be buying the cabinet
Yeah.
and may not remember how to play or may not even know how to play, but my God, those are tough videos to make. So I've only done one so far, but I'm going to try to get some more out for you guys soon.
Yeah. And not only that, because you do Killer Instinct, but you're a huge Mortal Kombat fan. I've seen you doing
I
a lot of
am.
Mortal
Yeah.
Kombat
Probably
content
the
as
only
well.
Mortal Kombat 4. You probably can't see the marquee, but it's a Mortal Kombat 4 back there. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, I saw you just did a gameplay how to beat the bosses series too. So and you do like gameplay Mondays too. So it's a little bit of gameplay, a little bit of tutorials, a little bit of Arcade1Up. And so is there any one thing that you most enjoy doing?
That's actually a good question. I would say I think the gameplay Mondays are fun because I just get to kind of ramble on, and it's almost like a podcast with just one person talking and playing games. But those are kind of nice because I get to share some experiences and things I don't normally talk about on the channel. I really enjoy everything I do, but yeah. And and the live streams are always fun because I get to talk to everybody back and forth. And I've gotten pretty good at playing a game and just reading. I can even kind of read the chat if I'm playing KI and just keep the chat going and all that. It's been pretty fun doing that too. It's always a good
It's a little bit different because I'm going to be challenging Chris later on, by the way, to an actual online Killer Instinct match. It's not going to be the online version, but we are going to pack some pies and pie pack a little bit and play the SNES version online. We tested it out, but I thought, damn, it's really boring to watch two people play online, even though we banter with each other. And so, John D's here, and I could think of nobody better than John D's brother from another mother to come and join the stream and help us do some amazing play calling for the first time. Mr. Rev5 from Put Your Quarters in the Glass. What's going on, Nick? What's going on?
How you doing? How you doing, Kong? It's good to be here. Thanks, man.
Dude, your hair's all slicked back today. Did you have some meetings today? Were you professional? Were you doing your HR thing today?
It's been a busy week. It's been a very busy week. So I do appreciate it. Killer Arcade Games, how you doing, man?
I'm doing good. It's nice to meet you. I've never actually met you. I've seen your videos and seen you commentate and all that, but I have not met you in any way.
Dude, thank you. Guys, seriously, out there, if you haven't already, hit the thumbs up on this already and go to Killer Arcade Games and subscribe to him. You know how embarrassing it was to meet him backstage and then realize I need to subscribe to his channel, OMG. So, make sure you subscribe to these guys. Please do.
Yeah, thank you. And so it'd be fun to have you here because I believe you have become the face of the Arcade1Up retro home fighting community. If look at that pretty face. New sensation, where's she at? Is she around? Is she jealous that your face has become synonymous with this community?
I don't care. She's hoping. She bought in cheap on the IPO, if that's the case, my friend. So
but you bought this cab, no? Did you not get Killer Instinct 2 to kind of do some content? Like what are your thoughts in general about KI?
Well, let's be honest. Honestly, it took me, I didn't buy it right away. It took like an hour because I didn't check my email. But then I bought it right away. Like, let's be honest, this thing's a beast. I kind of had a peek behind the curtain and I knew it was gonna be looking just primo and let's be also honest. The online community around this game is going to be fun. I'm going to be a charity stripe. I'm going to be giving away XP on this game. I'm terrible. But I think that calling this game is going to be like, it's going to be insane. It's going to be insane. This game is absolute carnage on the mat for sure. And it's KI1 and KI2, right? So
correct. Yeah.
Absolutely. It's a deal. And you know, I know guys, you know, people are getting a little salty because they're putting out too many cabinets, but 'tis the season to enjoy the Arcade1Up life right now, my friend.
I agree. John D is talking about 4 frames of lag. I think I saw some teasers that John D has some actual cabs in the wild to specific testers. I think there's a couple of key people in the community that this machine, which I'm going to showcase a little bit later, the matchup system is something that we've not seen before. And so because I didn't have a detailed conversation about John D about this, but it is a different lobby system. So, you know, with the enhanced chip system too, I'm happy that there is a testing that's happening of this cab before it goes full release. Could you imagine like it being in the hands of the people and then there's being issues and there's a patch? Like, this is the right way to go about it. There's like teasers, there's a pre-order. I think there's a wave of momentum for the cab, the design. So I'm excited to hear about that. And the 4 frames of lag, that sounds pretty exciting. And you know, Killer Arcade Games and I were playing the SNES version online decently, but if the experience is better than that, then I can say sounds like a win. So Killer Arcade Games, are you still on the fence about getting this? Did you put in your pre-order yet for this? I know that this is a tough one for you.
So I'm not really on the fence about it. The biggest problem I'm having right now is I want to buy Ralph's real Killer Instinct cabinet. I don't know what Ralph's going to charge, and I've got my cash saved, and I'm trying to be like, once I secure that, if there's still pre-orders, if they're still available, I'll more than likely pick one up at that point. I really want it. I want to play online with everybody. And it's just, I got to prioritize here because I've wanted the real thing my whole life, of course. Well,
Ralph's got to pay for Mason's food bill. You know how much it costs to keep Mason fed on a trip to Chicago? I'm sure the pizza bill alone was insane.
Look, and Rev, get John D out of your basement sending you freaking games like this. I'm trying to get you.
Let him go. Stuff. It's too cold here.
Yeah.
A Filipino in Minnesota turns into a Chilipino, and he doesn't last long, dude. That's it. He ran back. Yeah. He ran back.
Yeah, that's too funny. All right, well, cool. Well, one of the first things I wanted to show off with everybody is just so we can get into it just a little bit. And I apologize for starting the stream a little bit late. People have been joining in. I have over 40 minutes of footage. When I went back and poor Mrs. Kong's Rust, we went to visit John D, and I didn't intend to make content or to film stuff, but I was just like, I'm gonna bring my tripod just in case like he would let me like film stuff, including the tour that you saw. And then he was gracious enough and said, hey, yeah, go ahead, test it out, like tell me how it is. So I was like, sweet. So I propped up my camera, I like went through the menus, I let the gameplay intro play for everything. And so I was busy putting together all the videos, and some of them are uploading. So we're gonna play bits and pieces of them. And here's the very first one that I want to show off to everybody is actually the menu selection screen for the KI2 cabinet, or KI cabinet. So this is it. So this is the menu selection screen. I'm going to make this full screen so you can see it. And you have your KI1, KI2, BattleToads, and then the bonus games. It's going to cycle through the different versions right here. But it's a slightly different menu setup than you've seen before. You have your options kind of on the left side. It doesn't look like a cookie cutter mold that you've seen for like the Marvel versus Capcom, right? Like it definitely has a little.
Go back.
You want to go back to the menu selection screen just a little bit?
So I want to highlight something for everyone as well when you get in there. Go ahead and run it forward just a tiny bit. And you'll see it just a little bit more. There's a key right there. Pause. Look at available games loading. So I'm wondering when this gets into the wild and there's 2, 3, 4 lobbies going, what's going to show up in that window as well? That could be potentially an answer to the really bad Big Blue UI experience right now. And I'm hopeful. I'm very hopeful.
Yeah. So for folks that may not know about the Big Blue lobby system at all, like what are you talking about when the Big Blue lobby system issue? Just so that people can
you know, and it's more maybe it's just my opinion. Maybe it's just my opinion. But the idea being when you log into Big Blue, it starts off with the beautiful Champions Edition. And then there's 11 games to the right of it. And each game is multiple buttons in, multiple buttons out, just to see if anybody is playing. Where hopefully, I would love to see Arcade1Up go to a UI system where it's an overall UI where you see each game and open lobbies and the potential to save a lot of time and run more efficiently from a user experience.
Yeah, and like John D says, they're gonna fix the Big Blue lobby. So if that happens with Big Blue, hopefully that happens with Marvel, because that's the same kind of setup there. That setup looks very similar, whatever the UI that is. But this was something different. I did notice that, and I do have a clip later on that shows a little bit about, when you press the live button. I always remember when you did your Big Blue unboxing, you're like, live button is the leave button. This actually doesn't do anything in game except let you leave, right?
Right.
But there is a different experience when you press the live button in this thing that shows you some different options. So it might sneak peek into how they're going to set this up. But to your point, yeah, it says at the bottom, if you can say at the bottom, it says press any button to start Killer Instinct, move up or down to select a different game, move left to change the settings, or move right to access online features. And so again, I wasn't connected online, so I wasn't able to test fully the gameplay online for this because there wasn't anybody else online, but I got to play everything else. So and then props, by the way, we have some quick props to John about the just updating, right? The fact that he's here listening to the community, and this is an example of Galaga having the fast fire Galaga, that he's updating stuff and sending that message up, and things are happening. So this is good, valuable feedback, and it just shows that he's listening and paying attention. So I think this is exciting to hear.
Fast fire Galaga for us ignorant people in the world here?
That's a good question. So on the class of 1981 cab with Pac-Man and Ms. Pac-Man and Galaga, there's a mode or version of it that features a little ship that shoots faster, I assume, because I am not a super fan of the game and I don't have it myself, but it is an option. It's like fast version of Ms. Pac-Man, I would assume. And somebody can correct me in the chat. Alice says, hold down the button and fast fire. Okay, so fast fire is the only way to play Galaga. So it sounds like for Galaga fans, this is a big deal. But all these cabs are online enabled. I think it just goes to show this key example is that there's now a new evolution of all their cabs moving forward. Regular patches, better gameplay. If something's not broke or working well, and the fact that they can fix something like a lobby system for Big Blue or Marvel that's been out for months now, like Marvel's been out for a year. Imagine if they did a lobby rechange for that, right? Like, I don't know, just really cool that they have that on their radar to do.
Super exciting for sure.
Yeah,
I do have a quick question for John if he's still here.
Yes.
So when I did my stream, I showed some gameplay footage that he sent me, and the KI2 intro was running, or the attract mode was running too fast. We find out from Code Mystics that was actually beta software. So I'm just wondering if you were playing the beta version that John may have had, just to be clear for everybody, just in case anyone sees something that seems off.
Yeah, I think this PCB, you probably can still consider it in beta, right? Because it's not the production version. And even the 4 that were sent out, he clarified on Twitter that those are not production models. They're betas too. So and you can see on the picture that it was just literally a PCB connected to a Marvel cab with the control panel itself. So that was essentially what it was.
I just wanted to be clear because I don't want to cause any more trouble for Code Mystics. I made that whole stream, and then I'm sure they had to watch my entire thing and be like, well, this is why that happened, and just so you know. So I don't want to cause any trouble for them.
But it's really cool that even Code Mystics is paying attention to the community. Were you surprised when Code Mystics was commenting on your comments to give
definitely
feedback?
Was. They actually commented on a video I did right after they announced the KI, where I kind of pointed out the problems with the Xbox One emulation, and they explained a lot of that stuff. Apparently, the Xbox One even struggled to emulate Killer Instinct. So I was thinking, well, how on earth are they doing this in an Arcade1Up? That's why I can't wait to see the hardware that's inside this and see the wizardry they've been able to pull off here. This is amazing.
Yeah, and so what I'm doing now is just playing the intro for Killer Instinct, which actually is the same but changed slightly, just to have a couple of different things. You see the Tastemakers logo there. So when you see like the Arcade1Up logo and like the intro and just kind of this soundtrack, like what were your first impressions when you kind of saw this up and running? I know John D played a couple of clips of this. Any thoughts on this?
I think it's missing something right away, glaringly, right? Just going back to my childhood there, I just remember a giant Nintendo logo spinning and appearing, right? And having that removed shows like the influence that A1Up is able to do with their game makers and to get this license approved and put out. It's beautiful, man.
Yeah, and I think they did an amazing job replacing the stuff. Everyone I've talked to that's a big fan who's been like, okay, that was actually really classy, and I thought they did a really good job with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you can see here that it looks like the scan lines are kind of enabled already, kind of by default. So it looks like you have those lines on there. And you can see that, John D, you got to wipe down your screen because that's not my screen. Like your screen is smudgy there, but those aren't
Put 'em
black
on
spots that you
blast.
see. You know, we were eating lumpia. I don't know. Like I tried to wipe my hands down, but you know, the guy's a nice host and he has snacks in in his office. But you know, this is the gameplay footage that just, you know, was running complete. I just took a whole, you know, 2-3 minutes of this, but it runs exactly like the arcade. It's just nice to have this. I mean, imagine just having an attract mode or just having this in the background while your arcade's running. You know, that's what half of us do with arcades, is just have really awesome attract modes. And is that something you can relate to, CAG, with your machines?
Absolutely. When I just come in here, hang out, I'm one of those guys who just has to turn them on to hear all the noises and see it all. I mean, I love watching the attract mode. I love attract modes in general. I wanted to do a whole thing on attract modes. One of these days, I'm going to start doing that video, or series of videos. But yeah, they're very important to an arcade game. I mean, maybe not so much in your home, but it adds to the excitement of having one of these in your house, I think.
Yeah.
The music
All right,
of
so
AI is iconic, man.
Yep.
yeah, so definitely, if you enjoy that music, you are going to love this kind of setup. So the first clip that I'm going to play now is a clip that I shared with the Super Game Room dudes, and I'm going to share more of that a little bit later on because I have the full video. I can't believe I was playing for, and I said it earlier, like 40 minutes of poor Mrs. Kong's or us trying to make small talk with John. I'm sure they had a very nice conversation, but I was like so in the zone with just like, I'm just going to play this and test out everything. But for like 45 minutes, I was playing this and it was really fun. But I'm going to play a clip now of my first experience playing with Orchid. She is the main character that I know how to play with and was the easiest for me. But while I pull that up, CAG, do you have a favorite character that you enjoy playing with?
It's between Combo or Saberwolf for me. So probably if I had to choose Saberwolf.
Saberwolf. And then for beginners that are just kind of like learning the game, do you kind of have recommendations for people, you know, to start off with any particular character? Is there a Shoto character like a Ryu that is basic that most people can pick up?
I think actually Orchid is probably that character. That was my first character. She's pretty easy. You can do long combos with her once you figure out just a couple of easy moves.
Mm-hmm.
Stay away from Spinal if you're new, by the way. Spinal and Fulgore I find to be very difficult to play as.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Difficult.
Yeah, I remember. So here it is. Here's the full gameplay right now of Killer Instinct 1. Me playing for the very first time, testing out the buttons, even testing out the controls. And there it is. I was able to pull off a simple combo. And while we're watching this, I mean, I know you're kind of like watching and reacting, but can you explain for folks that are kind of new, like how the combo system works? Is it different for every character? There's no magic sequence? Do you have to learn combos for each character?
That's a good question because I've never really learned the combo system. I just know how to do the stuff. That's the funny thing. People ask me that stuff all the time. I'm like, I couldn't describe you. I know you got like the opener, the linkers, the auto doubles, all this, and the enders, but I just do it. I can't really explain it. So that's why when I make these videos, I have to just lay out the moves. Like, you're going to do this move next, this move, this move. But as far as understanding the combo system in full, I've never been a person who's been able to do that. It's very funny.
Yeah. Lewis says cinders are great for beginners too. I remember well, because once you have it, like I like playing Glacius too. That was one of my favorite characters. Cinder was good. Definitely Orchid was the easiest one as a charge combo and then press a button to continue that going. It was really, really fun. All right, so is this the original button layout? What do you think of the button layout on the control panel itself, CAG? When you take a look at that, does that look kind of accurate to you and what you were looking for in the control panel?
It looks like they even... So one of the things with the Street Fighter cabinet which was commonly turned into a Killer Instinct, the joystick lines up with the top row of buttons, and that's always kind of bothered me because Killer Instinct had always had the joystick kind of centered between the two sets of buttons. And it looks like that's what it was on there, but it was kind of hard to tell, unfortunately. And otherwise, though, I mean, I think they did a good job with the deck. It looks like they had to reproduce some of the art. But it looks good. I mean, it's always an issue. Like even my deck on my modded cab still isn't the real 100% to the real thing. They had to cover the Killer Instinct logo with some of the art. It's just one of those deals that you can't do. So I assume maybe John's here and he can tell us, did they actually reproduce some of that art? Because it looks like they did to me.
Yeah, it looks really clean. Like I don't have a huge frame of reference of the original one, but hey, you have a friend from OTG, Overthink Gaming's
Yeah.
here. Looks like
So
Rev had to drop off. He'll jump back in a little bit, but go ahead.
okay, he actually lives in the same city as me, and he's getting the
Oh,
cabinet.
there
So
you
if I
go.
don't end up getting it, he invited me to his house to check it out. So I'm gonna do that if I have
Ah,
to.
Kat, you're gonna get it. Come on, you can't not do all this content, Arcade One
I
Up.
know.
Don't act like you're not gonna get this cab
It's
eventually
just
at some
such.
point.
I hate to be such a complainer. It's just bad timing. I had to buy a new mattress. Had to get the wife a new phone, and it's just
Yeah,
like, oh my god. Oh, so it is reproduced art. Okay, so
it's reproduced art. Yeah,
they did
the
a good
only kind
job
of
with it.
nitpick I see on yours that you have blue joysticks though. Was
Yes.
that more of like a real arcade cabinets had blue joysticks, and then
As
we
far
saw
as
there
I
were.
understand, they always had blue joysticks.
Mm-hmm.
I remember seeing it in '94. I mean, it hit the arcade floor, and I looked at this thing, and I remember those blue joysticks. So it's a, it's not that big of a deal personally to me. You can always swap them out anyway. If I buy it, I'm probably just swapping the controls in general, putting HAP in there anyway.
Yeah. Yeah, there it is. Very good. So maybe that's like a small little nitpick complaint that you can see, but reproduce
Yeah,
art, blue buttons, maybe they can like, I mean, it's just a bat top. So honestly, you could buy just the top if you don't mind the buttons and stuff. But honestly, when I was playing those controls, yes, they're the same buttons, right? They're the same Arcade1Up
really.
buttons you might be used to things, but I was pulling off combos with those buttons. So, and the way that the buttons, I'm a Marvel vs. Capcom player and I play also Street Fighter. So, maybe I don't play KI enough, but like how much precision do you feel like you need to pull off combos? Is it like, do you have to be there? Because I feel like I'm charging, then I'm button mashing low punch till it registers, and then I'm doing the next. Like you can almost like save up for your next combo because it kind of auto combos a little bit, right? You're not hitting every
Right.
single button.
Yeah, there are some moves that will do. I guess those are. I'm not going to try to butcher the combo system, but like the automatic stuff, there's a button, you'll push one button in a combo and it'll do 3 hits or something. So
Exactly.
yeah,
So
I think that's right. And I'm most worried about the joysticks, not so much the buttons, because the sticks
okay.
I think are really important. When I go to arcades that have joysticks that are just worn out, you can really get some problems, especially when you've been used to playing on, these. I've been playing on these, are like brand new, and you'll definitely get thrown off a little. That I am interested to see if I can play on the stock Arcade1Up stuff the same way I can play on my modded cabinet with the hapsticks.
All right, so I finally finished getting this whole video. So this is 9 minutes of different gameplay that's uploaded. It's a little bit fuzzy. Hopefully it'll rebuffer in a second. But I did that Orchid combo a little bit later on. Then I continue playing against Glacius. Oh, that's super fuzzy, but hopefully it'll rebuffer in a second. Can you guys see that? Well, I mean, besides the quality of it, one of the biggest things that people were concerned about was the frames and even it just being able to be emulated. So when you're seeing this now, tell me what you think about from just the emulation and looking at the frames and everything.
So what I'm seeing is occasionally a little slow, but I think that's just the way it's being streamed to me. But so far, it looks crisp and clear. Everything seems to be moving just fine. It is a little hard to tell because I am seeing it streamed through the internet, but
Yeah.
I don't have any
What are you
complaints.
looking for when you're looking for kind of lag issues? For those that don't have like a trained eye for this, like, and for me, what would I need to be looking for to know that there's lag between like the input lag or what we're looking at? Like, what are you looking for when you see like, hey, there's a little bit of lag?
The funny thing is, even on the Xbox One version, it seemed pretty smooth all the time. Occasionally, I would get a slowdown, just a general emulation slowdown. It seemed like I never felt like the controls were ever slow when I played on the Xbox One version. Um, I'm trying to watch your fingers and kind of watch the screen at the same time to see how it looks, but it seems to be clear to me. I mean, it seems to actually be working as it should. The hardest part is going to be I'll know it when I feel it is the thing. That's when I actually feel the gameplay and feel like
This is
something's a
true.
little off. And
That's what it was for
smooth.
me. This was not a day one buy for me when I was playing this. It wasn't until I actually got into the experience. The speakers, whatever speakers they're using, were kicking ass. Like I was in the moment. This is definitely like an experiential game. Even though I got my butt whipped and I was like, "Damn it, I lost to a computer." So, just trying out different characters. I was just playing Gushus to see if I could remember him. And then I think I went. Who did I go? I went back to Orchid to see if I can just do another combo and test it out. But I remember playing. And then I tried playing Jago at the end too, who I also think was really hard to combo with. But yeah, I had a lot of fun playing it. This got me excited. I was playing this for 9 minutes straight, and I was like giddy the entire time. You can't see my face. Poor Mrs. Kongzarush and John Deere sitting on a couch in the next room, and I was just like, this shit is friggin' awesome. And yeah, I had a blast. So this experience, to your point, playing it definitely helps. I think, the more you can get this in people's hands, and I'm sharing this with the entire community that's watching this, that I personally had a good time playing this, even though it was the PCB version of it. I was impressed. I thought emulation was going to be the biggest issue. Rev, did you have any concerns about, the emulation of this game? Have you heard anything from anybody else about this, coming out, or is this, like, now watching it, good enough?
No, I think it's going to be plenty fine from a community aspect and like an experience. I think you're going to have the 1% audience who finds something wrong with it, and those people would find something wrong with it even if it had, KI14, and that hasn't even come out, right? So that aside, I think there's going to actually be a positive output on the initial community input. I do. We'll see how it goes. You never know, right? Somebody's going to get a broke speaker, and that'll be the first person to put a YouTube video up, and then all of a sudden every Google search is broke speaker issues. So you never know.
Yeah.
But I
somebody's
think,
going to complain about something.
Yeah,
this is an
your
interesting thing.
Is going to be amazing.
This person talked about the ROM versions. And so when I was testing out the options, and I'll get to the option screen hopefully, but there's actually 2 versions of the game you can actually pick from. There's a 1.4 and a 1.5. I asked John when I saw that in the menu system, I said, John, what's the difference between these? And I was like, I don't know. And there's people that do know about what it is, but just the fact that there's options, when we get to that section of my video where we go through the options, Code Mystics freaking did an amazing job of going over options for this entire cap. I was really thoroughly impressed, not only with this, but with the BattleToads options. It's just a next level of coding compared to other Arcade1Up caps for sure.
Did you forget how to make them dance or something? Did you don't remember how to make them dance?
Oh man, no, I don't know how to do any of it. Are they called fatalities in this game, CAG? Like the finishing
moves, finishing moves. So in early versions of the game, there was a voice that would come on and say, show no mercy, or, and they just cut that, I guess. But it's back to really quick about emulation being right. I keep trying to catch it. So one of the things, the biggest gripes I ever had about the Xbox One version of the emulation was the little stuff, like in between the fights, the versus screen, it would kind of stutter or it wouldn't really show it properly. So I keep hoping to see that. But every time I've seen gameplay, like, I think you and John have skipped it all, so it's just like, oh no, I want to see that, and I want to hear at the end of a match, if you get a supreme or awesome victory, there was a tone that would keep playing, and it would bleed into the next fight and all that. So I don't know if we'll get to see that, but let's see.
That's all right. Cool. Well, Twisted Gaming TV is here. What's going on, man? He also is going to be one of the beta folks getting this, and he does have a real arcade to compare to. So definitely stay tuned to Twisted Gaming TV, who once he gets it, will be able to also do some. And I know, CAG, you're waiting to get your real one so you can do some comparison, but it sounds like you have on the emulation side. You mostly use PC, right, to emulate this for
only PC, right? Yeah. Since 2005, when I first did it, it was always PC. And back then, of course, there was no Pi, but you had to have a decent PC to emulate it back then.
Yeah. So Chris is not going to pull punches. So Twisted Chris he's going to have some fun, and to you too, right? So as long as you can provide the community feedback, this is me trying to attempt to play Jago, and it's like, it kind of comes back to, like, I was an SNES player when I was playing this back in the day, and I was like, I remember trying. The practice mode is really fun on the SNES though, but I don't know if there's a good practice mode here in the arcade. Is that there's no practice mode in the arcade, right? You just have to play computer, correct?
Yeah, it was
you can play you could press start on the player 2 side and play nobody, which helps.
That's true. Again,
you only get so much, there's hacked versions or cheats on MAME that let you have it to where your opponent never dies, so you can practice that way. It would have been kind of cool if they included something like that, actually. I didn't think of that, but that would have been a nice addition, like maybe something you can access from the main menu for each game. That go into practice mode, and it'll just launch a fight where the player 2 side has infinite life.
Yeah,
you'll
actually
never have a lobby full again then.
People are just practicing, trying to get some moves in. It's fun though, like when you can get a combo going in and you get like a 20 hit combo, which is I think the max you can do before you do ultra combo. Like it's pretty exciting to get there. So okay, so here you go. Me checking out, just leaving the game there, and the next thing I'm going to show is a little bit of what happens when you press the live button. So these control panels now all have dedicated live buttons, right? And so this one actually pulled up an interesting menu that I'd not seen before in the system. So for a lobby system previously, you would have to open a room and set up a match, right, Rev? Is that kind of like how the traditional lobby system works?
Yeah, or I mean, you can hit the quick find and it's going to take you to the lobby with an
Have you
empty
ever
seat.
done that? Has that ever been successful? A quick find?
It'll take you to a lobby with an empty seat, right? But if there's nobody waiting in a lobby, it won't create a lobby for you. So it's not a true queue. It's just, hey, throw me in an open chair.
Yeah. All right. So here we go. We're going to check out. This is the menu screen. And once it gets in, it's really hard to see. But here, I'm sorry, let me get this full screen. Can you see? So in the lobby, I'm gonna pause this for a second. So when you hit the live button, this menu pops up and it says three things. It says hide this menu, availability, visible to everyone, and then you can change that option. So there's a way for you to set if you want to be joined or not. So there's visible to everyone, hide, and let me see if it actually pulls up there. And then leave this game, and it shows the visiting player. So this is a new lobby system. I don't know how it works, honestly. I just saw it and it was like, oh, it says invisible, visible to everyone, or visible to for, I think it says, oh, I can't read it. Visible for, there's a friends list option, I think. So there, I think that was the third one. So visible to everyone, invisible, and then I think it actually, I think I do a close up here. Let me see. There it is. There it is. Visible to favorites, invisible to everyone, and then invisible. So this is new, right? So seeing this, Rev, from a lobby matchup system, any thoughts on what this would look like? And I know we're projecting because we haven't seen what this looks like, but what are your first thoughts seeing this new type of lobby system?
Yeah, I like options, and I think a lot of people out there are going to like the options. It's going to be harder, I think, to find matches when you have people, because you and I both know people run to protect their rank and their color and all that kind of stuff, right? And so if they can now just make themselves visible and invisible, it's really going to be interesting, I think. But at the same time, it might get away from the players that just are level ones running around.
And this is good to know because I don't have an NBA Jam, so I didn't know that these were the same thing. So I was like, hey, this is different than my Marvel and Big Blue. And this just shows my lack of knowledge in the other online play. But so in NBA Jam, for folks that have it, like, can you just join somebody at any point? Or do you still have to like join a lobby and set it up? Is this pretty much the NBA Jam lobby system then? Is for folks that are here? That I don't know. If this looks like the exact NBA Jam lobby system where you would join, that's an unfortunate experience I don't have because I've never played NBA Jam, even though I like the game. But so that's kind of the options when you press the live button there. And then this is the start of Killer Instinct 2. So here's the Killer Instinct 2 online logo setup. I just kind of dropped it in there so we can check out the intro for KI2.
Didn't KI2 go like kind of a clay fighter animation almost, right?
It definitely went weird. I didn't care for KI2 nearly as much as KI1.
I'm with you, my friend. I'm with you.
It looks too cartoony to me. I like that kind of. Rare always had a distinct look of their games and their characters, but KI1 just had that dark. I like the look of KI1 so much better. The music in KI2 is great. In fact, I think, I don't know, I don't want to say it's better, but you can tell they spent a little more time and had maybe a bigger budget for it.
Yes, I do remember this now. I do remember this.
But I'm not a big KI2 fan, unfortunately.
Hey, look at the Nintendo. Nintendo made it through.
Oh,
yes.
That's
so it's exactly like NBA Jam,
right?
John's recalling everything right now and scrubbing that right now and replacing it with an Arcade1Up.
I did see a Nintendo logo for sure. And the stutter just might be me sharing the screen right now. So and then I will upload. Yeah, because I'm watching it on my screen versus what's on StreamYard, and it looks okay.
I remember this coming out because at this point in time, you're looking at Third Strike, Alpha, and the Versus series, all competitors. And I think Tekken was still fighting in place with Virtual Fighter, right? So the fight game series in the 1990s at this point was huge. This game had to differentiate. And to your point, KIG, the first KI really did. I remember this one being disappointing.
Yeah, I remember seeing it in the arcade and being like, "Oh my god, KI2!" And I went up to it, and within the first couple minutes, I just felt like something's odd. I can't ever pull off a long combo. I can get like 8-9 hits maybe, and I can do like a 34 hit killer combo in the middle of the round of KI1, but not 2. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, I'm gonna play some KI2 gameplay right now, and again, I had to play my girl Orchid just to see. And it's to your point, the move list doesn't translate, right? You would think they would have some similar things. I know we're talking more just about game itself than actual emulation, but here it is. Here's the KI2 gameplay, and your girl Orchid. I can't wait to hear the play calling, Rev, when somebody plays this version of Orchid, because you see so much ass. And it's amazing.
Am I right? Does she show the hoo-haws in both games or just KI2?
Just this one. Look, like hers, like it's.
Well, no, she has like a fatality where she.
I think that's only KI1, but I know KI2 so little as far as that goes. I don't think that made it over though.
Dude, that's not even Orchid. Let's be real. That's Jennifer Lopez in 1997. That was just she got more ass than an astronaut, man. That's ridiculous.
We got Fly Girls. Yeah, she does have a Janet Jackson look to her. Absolutely. Now that you say that,
a lot of the women in this game kind of look like Janet Jackson or Paula Abdul. So I think whoever designed them was a fan at the time.
Looks like Shakira fighting her right there.
That's is gonna funny. Be bad, look at that. That's Paula. That's funny. Now that you say that, I can totally see that. That's totally Paula and her Janet put together. And that's hilarious.
I never really played Killer Instinct
2.
That's just me.
What did Mrs. Kong's RS say about getting this game? Was she happy about getting this one?
I told her I had to buy her an Orchid outfit so that we can do a review. And that's what we do. So that's what I'm looking forward to.
$5 at Marshall's, man. Look at that. There's barely any clothing. The backgrounds are beautiful in KI. That's the one thing that I think goes unrecognized is the backgrounds really are gorgeous and accent the game in a great way.
Yeah. And I apologize, like I'm watching this on StreamYard right now versus what I've uploaded to YouTube, and there's still a lag no matter what when I share this through StreamYard. So I will upload all this footage on my channel later on in case anybody wants to watch it in full glory. This was just an opportunity to kind of reveal it and get some first thoughts from CAG and Rev. So CAG, seeing KI2, I know that you said about like the menu screens and the versus screens, those are the places that you can see, but actual gameplay looks okay to you?
This looks fine to me. I will be watching them uploaded because I've seen a little, stuttering and stuff. So I don't think it's the game. If anything, the game almost looks really much smoother than I thought it would, to be honest. I don't know if they're running it at a higher frame rate or what, but it looks really smooth.
So there's a few things that I want to look for, right? So one is the quality of the monitor. So obviously you're playing on a Dazzler monitor, right? So I don't know if people know that Dazzler isn't in KI and neither is Wolverine or Colossus, right? So I'm wondering if there's any delay in the monitor itself. And then I think one of the true tests for me will be, can I get in the middle of going into a killer combo? Can I get a combo breaker off? If I can find that timing, can I adjust to whatever the lag is in the inputs and make that happen? If you can do that online in a game where that is the key to getting out of a big ass combo, then they nailed it. It's all about, can you do the combo breakers when you need to?
Yeah,
definitely. I was able to do one earlier when we were testing it on the Super Nintendo version, but
you were.
Yeah, and that's got some lag noticeable at least.
Let's move over to the other featured games in the cab. So this is BattleToads Arcade. Did either of you play this game in the arcade? Do you remember this?
No. I never did. I'm a terrible gamer. I'm sorry. I've been meaning to go back and play it.
PTSD from the Nintendo version of BattleToads, and I never played it again.
Yeah, I remember playing a lot of console versions of this, whether it's BattleToads and Double Dragons, right? Or Super BattleToads and BattleToads and Super Maniac, BattleToads and Battle Maniacs, right? But the arcade one, surprisingly, was very fun. Look at the animation on this. It's from a beat 'em up standpoint. it's a really good quality beat 'em up game. I was surprised like how fun this was playing this, and then the gameplay, it's simple. You just have two buttons. You can see I'm pressing the quick button and the medium punch buttons, right? So it's just jump and kick is pretty much it. That all I'm doing, and then you're jumping, kicking, and you know, throwing stuff. So this was a super fun beat 'em up game. If you haven't played Battletoads Arcade, I had a blast playing this. In fact, you can choose from your favorite Rash, Pimple, or Zit. And later on, I asked Mrs. Kongzarus to join in and play. And so when you can have a beat 'em up, just adding extra value to the cab, right? Because now you're playing online, adding a beat 'em up like this that adds extra value. This is almost something, you know, this IP almost could be its own cab. You know, this is something that's really interesting. Battletoads is a really popular game. So, I mean, now that you've seen this, and I don't know, any other thoughts on Battletoads and playing it? Do you remember anything else about this game?
This looks a lot like a Donkey Kong level. I noticed that. Donkey Kong Country.
Yeah.
Who's the maker of this game? It's not the same company, is it?
It's Rare, I thought, right? Rare?
Yeah.
Battletoads?
I'll have to see.
Yeah, I think so. Like, it's interesting. It's a kind of, you know, it reminds me of like classic Super Nintendo platform beat 'em up, right? It's awesome. Like, and it's easy.
It's definitely Rare, by the way, because it was on the Rare replay that they released on Xbox One. I remember, I think I did actually play a few minutes of that. I need to go back and do that. I have that right here. I can do that today.
Yeah. So there it is. So people said they rented it for the NES. So for folks that have never played it, as Lewis is confirming that it is a Rare game. So it makes sense. The same licensors that are on the cab are producing it. So it very much has like a Donkey Kong Country type of feel, but you know, from arcade graphics standpoint, again, it's very on point. You know, the graphics are really crisp, very fun. Yeah, I enjoyed this thoroughly. We were playing this for 10 minutes straight. Like, it was just hey, how far can we get? Just testing out as much as we can with this. It is a button masher. You can repick your character once you die, and you can like boot them off the screen. So Battletoads was just one of those fun games where it was a little goofy, right? You're beating somebody up. You can create a giant boot with your fist and hammer, and that was it. You were just having a zany good time.
Is
this game I do believe is online.
Jet skis too?
Yeah. I think there is I don't know if it's in this level.
This is gonna bring back terrible nightmares for me as a young man. That right there was tilt for a young Rev right there. That jet ski level.
I think there are vehicles for this for sure. So this game is online enabled, which is fun, right? That you can find a lobby to play beat 'em up. So I love the combination of just extra value. You could have just did, you know, we just had Simpsons with 2 games on it. You could have did KI1 and KI2. So the fact that they did this, which was great, and the bonus games of the other 2 Battletoads games, you really have to think of them really truly as bonus games and not as like their own super independent thing, because they're not online and labeled. They're not as great as the arcade ones. I'm going to show you for the first time, if you guys haven't seen it, the actual 8-bit and 16-bit versions of these games right now. So let's go ahead and load that up so you guys can see it. Is this changing your mind at all, Kag? Did this extra value for you, or is this kind of like a meh, nice to have?
It's nice to have, but I probably wouldn't play them much, to be perfectly honest. It's all about Killer Instinct for me, unfortunately. Well, fortunately, unfortunately. I don't really care. It's a bonus for sure.
Yeah, you're like 100% like, who cares?
Yeah, the online play and having arcade controls is a massive perk for me, because I already have the cabinet here. I'm maybe buying the real thing anyway. Online play is a huge draw, and having arcade controls, because I don't like playing with this on the Xbox One version.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, so here's the
91. Oh my goodness. I think I had like 2 hairs on my balls in 91. Let's be real. Like, that's how long ago that is. That's crazy.
I don't think I had any at that point.
So here's this is the 8-bit version of Battletoads. So again, really, there it is. Very, very simple. I mean, does this bring back more memories, Rev? This is
insane,
more like
memories, dude. So I rented this from the local Chinese place that had like used to rent Nintendo games back in the day, right? And like they were like $15, and if you didn't bring them back, they could own your house, and your parents beat you. It was amazing. And like, oh, this is crazy memories right now.
Yeah.
And I'm going to start tearing up and sweating in a little bit, so I apologize. It was just this game, man.
Yeah.
So many thumbs were busted.
Yeah, these people are saying jet skis were the demise of everyone who played this game for sure.
Yes.
So this is
Thank you,
it. I mean,
Leviathan.
people, yeah, people
I
know.
gotta check it out. I have jet skis. They're in my garage,
Mhm.
so I like jet skiing, but maybe it's not as fun in the game. It sounds like.
And I
you
did
can
want to
play
clarify,
2
Bradley
players,
Adam.
too.
You can, yeah. And so Bradley was asking no Battletoads and Double Dragon, because you're right. There were actually some retailers, I forget which one, I think it was Walmart, actually did list the bonus game as being Battletoads / Double Dragon. So that is a retailer error that John D has confirmed a couple of different times. Unfortunately, there's not a Battletoads Double Dragon version of the game. It's just the arcade version of it, and then this 8-bit version, and then I'm going to play the 16-bit version right now because this is pretty much as far as I got to. I picked up a stick, I beat them people down, and I was like, all right, I'm done. I died, and I was like, all right, that's it, I'm out. So that was that was the 16-bit version of it, or the 8-bit version. So and the 16-bit version is literally the exact same game. It's pretty much frame for frame the same game with just improved graphics. And so here is your 16-bit version of Battletoads here. Again, 1 player, 2 players. It's the console version, and look, it's the same thing except there's grass, right? So that's pretty much it. They are bonus games. They're not the full featured games because they're not online enabled. But I think it's fun. The fact that you have 5 total games, 3 of them online have played. These are just definitely going to be your bonus extras. To Cag's point, you're going to be playing Kai most of the time, checking this out for your own personal review, and then I don't see anybody ever playing this ever again.
Yeah, I mean, if I
Yeah.
review the cabinet, I may not even remember to bring these up. To be perfectly honest, no offense. I love that they're added value, but they're not really for me. Maybe the arcade version. I don't really love console games on arcades for some reason.
That's true. Yeah,
It seems
he
like it
said
works
no.
well,
Double
though.
Dragon was listed in numerous places, including a John D interview, and things changed over
Ooh.
time. Okay, so good to know. Maybe corrected. Good to know. Thanks, Mike. All
I'm
right,
looking forward to
and
seeing what they do in the future cabinets with, like, you know, hey, we're working with this company and we got these licenses. Let's throw these games on there, especially Capcom.
yeah. I mean, you ask a question about, like, you know, why would a retailer have information? We know things have changed from time to time when initial cab releases get sent out. We've seen retail listings listed randomly on some Canadian website because Canada always seems to get the scoop ahead of time, right? And so we can't always tell and be 100% accurate. I'm not defending it at all, but I'm just saying, like, it's possible, right? So
You're
I don't
riding
know.
the dragon, dude. Look at you.
I'm riding the freaking dragon.
If
That
that
was
is
fun.
not a metaphor for doing heroin, I don't know what the hell is in a classic 1991 game.
I do wish there were some of the other battle, like my Battletoads game was Battletoads and Battlemaniacs. That was the one that I remember the most playing, and Battletoads and Double Dragon, which would be really cool on its own. But it's one of those IPs again. It's a joint IP, so maybe there could be. I don't know. Like there's 3 Battletoad games versus 2 KI games. I wonder if they would ever reskin and do if anybody would prefer a Battletoads version skin cab. Who knows? I don't know if it would sell, but
I have a question
Battletoads
about
and
your hardware
yeah.
experience there. Could you tell if there was a fan running on that PCB? Yeah, sometimes you can hear them a little bit.
I
Good
don't
question.
know. Yeah, so
I would
here's
assume
some
there
of the
has to
options.
be. I can't understand how they're doing this otherwise.
Yeah, so here I'm pausing it really quickly because I don't remember a fan, honestly, but this is the menu screen, right, for the entire like KI. So this is where I was like, hey, Code Mystics did a really freaking awesome job. Look at this. So this is options just for KI1. You have difficulty, blood level, attract mode sound, finishing moves, display warning, blood color, your ROM version, which are the 2 versions, classic 1.4 and 1.5, scan lines, and then default settings. Like this is a shit ton of options compared to any of the fighting games that I've seen before. Like, what do you think? Options.
I love it. I love that they offered that because there's no, unlike Mortal Kombat where you can do the EJB trick where you run the CPU test to get into the other menus. There's no other way to get in it. So the fact that someone was asking me about this today, and I was like, no, they have all the settings there. Thankfully, you don't have to try to hack your way into it in any way. I love that.
This is hugely important to getting into foreign markets, my friend, because you can't show blood in markets like China.
Oh,
but if you turn it green, then you most certainly can.
Yeah. Oh, I forgot. This is a video. I was gonna say, go see what the option is on that, but that's a button level. I forgot. That's what the arcade said too. Because different characters have different colored blood already, so I guess you can either just turn it down or off probably with that.
Yeah.
Oh no, blood color right there. So that's weird.
Blood color and blood level.
Arcade.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, it's a smart move. And obviously people like options. I think the more the merrier. But like legitimate options like this is fantastic.
So there's classic and final versions of the ROM versions. Do you know the difference between the ROM versions, CAG?
If I'm not mistaken, I've played both pretty closely, and I think 1.4 you can do a few more glitchy combos and extend things a little bit farther. But I think there's someone in the chat who might actually know. Where is he? 666. He's always in my live streams when we talk about stuff. He seems to know a little bit more about the versions than I would, but I've never noticed anything, that big of a difference, really. I even tried to replicate a glitch I've been running into on the real arcade where it crashes the arcade when you do a humiliation. I tried it on the Xbox One 1.4 to see if I could replicate it, and I couldn't do it there either. So I don't know what caused that.
Yeah, but what different ROM versions, though? I mean, that's critical, Rev. Imagine from, a broken character. Like, what do you think is... what are they going to use for the online play? Like, if people select one of these and then they go to online, I'm curious now which one of these is going to be the online version, because I don't assume they're going to have two versions online, right?
I think if you back it up, one was called Final, right? And one was called
the
Classic.
1.5 was Final. Yeah.
So I'm betting that, I don't know, right? But I'm betting that the online would probably be on the Final version. And then we're playing with that one. And then it just kind of, you're set to that mode when you go to play online.
Yeah. So this is only if you're playing local, you can switch to ROM version, so you can't do your extra glitch thing that you're talking about. So that makes sense.
Why is he so janky? I don't know.
I'm trying to remember the Xbox One version. You could choose between the two versions. I can't remember if you could choose before the match when you went to play online, though. I don't. And maybe it always just reverted to 1.5 and didn't say. But now I'm gonna have to go look at that after this. That's interesting.
I wonder if that's like the Super Nintendo version.
So negative, confirm, fix glitch combos, and let you play idle.
Okay, yeah. Well, yeah, you have to use the code to play as idle, but but yeah, there was even earlier versions. There was the prototype, the 4.7, and of course, there's earlier versions than that. But I don't play with them that much. I've only ever messed with them on MAME. Some of them just seemed more broken than others, and that was it, really.
Interesting.
Yeah. All right.
Uh-oh.
All right. So we've been sharing pretty much most of the gameplay footage that I have for the Killer Instinct Arcade1Up cab. So the last portion of the stream, I was gonna say, like, let's actually have Rev play call what it would be like to play online Killer Instinct. So we're gonna play the SNES version of Killer Instinct right now on the stream. Have Rev play call it. But before I do that, CAG, any final thoughts on the gameplay footage that you saw over the last 30-40 minutes?
Overall, it looks really good. I'm not worried anymore. I desperately want to see those versus screens. And after that, but that doesn't really affect gameplay. That was really my only gripe with the Xbox One version. Gameplay-wise, it felt pretty similar. You're even able to do game-breaking glitches that exist in the arcade, that exist even in there. I mean, it's all emulation, so it's there anyway. But it looked good to me. I would say if you're on the fence, I would say go ahead and buy it. I would buy it too if I wasn't trying so hard.
In the market for a real one.
Yes, trying to get that real one. I refuse to miss out on this one opportunity from Ralph. So hopefully Ralph comes through for me soon.
All right. Rev, any final thoughts on kind of what you saw?
No, I'm looking forward to it, man. John D, I'm a little disappointed. I paid for dinner last time, and where's my KI machine early? Like, what's up with that? So,
you let him out of the basement too soon, man.
Yeah. I did. You did. It's a good call.
All right, so here we are in what's called Pi Packer. If you guys have never played Pi Packer before, this is an online platform that lets you play online with other people. So I have my camera on here, and CAG and I are connected to this, and we are gonna play some two-player action. You want to double check your buttons one last time?
Yeah, I think if you rebooted it, it changes them. Actually, I saw you.
All right, let's there it is. All right, so we're gonna do this. He's player 2, I'm player 1. So I'm just gonna double check my combos here.
Yeah. So Big D Retro, I just saw that pop up there. He says, "Take it easy on Kong." Well, I have not played the Super Nintendo version. Tonight's the first time in like 15 years. So, and we have a lag, so he might actually have a chance here. Let's see.
That, and I am not a Killer Instinct player at all. But hey, so you guys are watching SNES version of Killer Instinct. This is not the Arcade1Up version, but look at these amazing 16-bit graphics. It's not terrible for its time, right? But this is the main way that I remember playing this, and it should be fun. So put your quarters on the glass. Rev, take it away.
Oh, yeah, it's time to put them quarters on the glass. That's what I'm talking about. That's right, guys. Kong's R Us going up against Killer Arcade Games. Yeah, he's snapping into it like a doggy snapping into that fat ass. Look at those jeans filled by Orchid as she's smacking them around with them glow sticks like a girl at a rave saying, hey, that is not the Molly pill I paid for. And look at that doggy closing in, grabbing and snatching, ripping and tearing, grabbing and ripping up Orchid, throwing her to the ground. Now remember, folks, in KI1, there's crazy combos that take place, combos that knock a person off the building and send them to their death. There is unique fatalities and different kind of options in this game that you don't find in any other game. You can only.
I think I should have probably looked
on the KI machine. What's up, Kong?
I was just saying I need to remember my combo breaker. That's so critical. Oh my goodness.
I'll give it to you.
Right,
Back
my
forward,
man.
one
Need
of
to
the
remember that there is a thing in this game called a combo breaker. When you're in the middle of getting your ass kicked, when they're rubbing your teeth on the middle of the curb, saying enjoy that num num num, you gotta break that combo with the combo breaker. But nothing you can do when the wolf is laying the smack down on you. Look at him going to town.
My goodness.
Good Lord, make the bad doggy stop, and he sent her over the edge.
Oh my goodness. He just ultra comboed my ass off the building. Holy shit. All right. Once he chose Saber Wolf
on this version.
Oh, does she? All right. Look,
she just bounced off the edge instead of going through the bridge. Like in the arcade.
Oh my goodness. All right, so we need to get Twisted Chris versus Cag in a matchup somewhere because obviously my ass is not gonna cut it. So
it's not on Super Nintendo. It's so bad. I can't play with this thing.
I know both of us are playing on little controllers, but it's if the online play is better than this, and this is playing online, you know, through the web right now with somebody else, you can only assume that if you can play this much and have fun, this is only gonna be a blast. So Rev 5, round 2.
No worries, guys. Here we have Combo versus going Cinder. Cinder coming at you like a fireball fart right out of Satan's ass, and Combo bringing the heat like it's Mike Tyson. His defenses are impregnable, and he's going to eat your children as he keeps Cinder in the corner, closing the gap, using the roll punch into the nutsack, much like your classic Combo. That is right. Cinder cannot get out of the combo before he's dead. Now, remember, in this game, guys, there's no one round, second round. It's one giant life bar, and you'll notice that the health actually changes colors. I got my glasses on. It looks weird. I can't necessarily see the colors, but Cinder is almost down as his second life bar ends in red. Combo hasn't even broke through his first combo bar or his first health bar, and we are just seeing a beatdown put on. Oh my God! Look at Combo.
There's no fundamentals here. I can't do anything.
This is ugly. Look at Cinder grabbing his balls. Woo! Make him dance.
I thought he was teabagging me at first. I was like, what are you doing?
Nope. He made you dance, son.
Oh my God. Humiliation. Awesome victory. Well, oh my goodness. Well, I need to give
games. You gotta get a cab and just start owning motherfuckers online, bro.
Oh my goodness.
I will say I'm much better on the real thing because that's tough. This little controller is why I never played the Xbox One online that much.
You heard it, guys. Give him a 6-button joystick and he's gonna bring the heat.
I'm excited. Hopefully I can do it.
I hope you do, man. It'd be awesome if you grab one of these. I know I think Kong and I are gonna be at the little kids table. Kong and I are going to be at the little kids table asking for.
This is one of those things where, like, now I'm like,
strips and French fries.
I want to get it to play, but like, I'm gonna be like so bad. Like, so, what advice do you have for newbies that like have memories but are as terrible as I am? Like, and you know, Rev, because there's people like this on Big Blue and Marvel. Like, what do you say to people that are casuals? Should they still get this? Is this still going to be a good experience?
I think
just getting wiped like Hag.
Well, I would say I hope that they have a level system. I assume they do. I've never played anything online Arcade1Up, but maybe they'll have a level system like the Xbox One, and maybe you'll be able to see if somebody's like a level 10 and be like, I'm going to back off this guy and try somebody else. But I'd say don't get discouraged. If you think you're good at this game and you haven't played it in 20 years, you're going to be terrible when you first start it up. Give it some time. You'll get the feeling back. Don't play online right away. You're going to be horribly discouraged. I'd say just, if you need to, even do 2-player matches where nobody's playing against you. And then just try to work your way through the, put it on easy, by the way, very easy, whatever it is. And then try to work your way through the whole game. And then maybe dive into online here and there and dabble a little bit. But it's going to take a while to get used to it. I do have some videos that may help you out. I'm going to try to put more out. I've got one that'll tell you how to do Orchid's 48-hit Ultra. I saw John D said he was trying to learn it from that video. It's not terribly easy, but it's also not that difficult. And if you watch my channel, you can actually beat the entire Killer Instinct campaign pretty much all the way through with Orchid doing a 4-hit combo that's pretty much unbreakable. It's very easy. There's little holes in the AI, so I try to help people out with that stuff if they want to just beat the game and not worry about being great either. So just don't get discouraged. Try to hang out and try to stick with it. You'll get back into it.
And for most people, you can get access to a version of KI. If you want to play today, you can probably emulate this game on SNES and practice, because the movesets are exactly the same. And so I will probably find myself practicing on the SNES version until I'm going to do it. I'm going to pick up a KI cab. Mrs. Kongzero is going to kick my ass, but I don't know. I think online plus fighting game community is just something that I want to support. I want to support Rev and the good stuff that you're doing. Speaking of Rev and the online retro fight game community, I know you have some other tournaments happening soon. Can you tell the people what's happening with the latest Put Your Quarters on the Glass tournament?
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it, my friend. So yeah, out there, guys, check us out. This week's a little unique. So we're taking it on a detour. I want you to journey with me. We decided to take Big Blue on this week. Normally we're in the Versus realm, the Marvel universe. But this week we're taking it to the Big Blue realm. And we're going to start off on a fun little trip down memory road called Super Puzzle Fighter 2 Turbo, where we have chibi Street Fighter characters going up against each other in a Dr. Mario / Tetris style game versus each other. It's going to be awesome. Join us. We got 10 people. It's best 2 out of 3. There's money on the line. I didn't actually expect 10 people to sign up, but we got 10 signed up. You can check us out on the challenge site. I'll put it in the chat, Kong, if you don't mind. And of course, on Friday nights, always you can see these events taking place and Put Your Quarters on the Glass on YouTube, also on Twitch, but definitely on YouTube. And thank you, Kong. That's what we got going on.
You did a 3-hour stream last week on, was it X-Men versus Street Fighter? Yeah,
man, it's so, like, you know, I'm trying to figure out how much time it takes to stream a tournament. And yes, I was dressed like a Christmas elf.
yes,
I really don't. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, Mike of all trades acknowledged that. Okay. That was a Christmas so, you know,
looking good.
It's just one of those things where I think, like, the community loves to be involved. You see the trash talk videos that are being put out. Oh my gosh. Like, I'm not even creating the content. The community is driving their own content. It's amazing. So it's awesome, man.
Yeah, that's great. So definitely get in there. This normally happens on 7 p.m. Pacific, 10 p.m. Eastern. So it should be after your favorite other retro gaming show, Super Game Room Dudes. We're big fans of them. So it's usually after their shows. And you can jump on and participate. I can't wait to get on board with you know, the Puzzle Fighter 2. Again, it's going to be so fun to see an actual Puzzle Fighter 2 match. And again, Killer Arcade Games, if you guys haven't checked it out, please definitely check out Killer Arcade Games as well. What do you have going on, Kag? What's the latest that you can see from your channel? Anything you have going on pretty soon?
Latest would be probably, of course, talking about the Killer Instinct stuff, as you can see right there. I do enjoy doing these videos, the awesome Arcade1Up mods. I take other people's mods that I find on the internet or that are sent to me, and I just like to show those off. Those are always fun. And I've been trying to do the Beat the Boss series. Now, I'm no pro in Mortal Kombat, but I've found a few tricks to get through the ridiculous AI. There is going to be an idle Killer Instinct, How to Beat the Boss, coming very soon. He's actually kind of easy to beat if you learn how to take care of him. Otherwise, he'll destroy you with one combo if you're not careful.
That's right. So just jump backwards and kick in the corner.
You never want to get cornered with idle, because he'll
no, I'm sorry, for Mortal Kombat.
On 3, well, Ultimate 3 is like, I just attack Motaro constantly. I wait for him to jump or whatever it is, him to jump at you, kick him, try to combo him right away. Even if he blocks it, just keep hammering him with that combo. And sometimes he doesn't block it and you can go right out. I got a flawless recording that. And I didn't record that like 10 times or anything.
I love that you show the handwork too, man. That's legit. When you show the handwork, you know it's legit.
And I try to do that, but of course, I always play on the side 2 on MK. Well, actually, I don't know why I was playing on side 2 on Ultimate. That doesn't really work on that one. But on MK2, play on player 2 side. I believe it's much easier against the ridiculous AI. And then Khan, I just do the teleport actually with Scorpion, and he'll usually bounce off him, and then you can just go into a combo on him every time. It's not foolproof, but it'll get you through.
I can't wait for this to be online.
That's what I was about to say. Like, is MK Online something that you're gonna get, Kag? Is that pique your interest as well?
That's so tough because I'm out of room. Even if I get the KI Arcade1Up, where am I gonna put it? Like on top of my drum kit over here, or my Carnival's over here. It may have to go in the master bedroom. I'm watching out because Lady Kag may be back there, but it may have to sit in the master bedroom temporarily.
Yeah, Sensation loves that, right, Rev?
We will do fatalities that lead to babalities. I'm just saying.
Oh, no, not in my house, please. Thank you. No babalities here.
That's so good. All right, well, thank you all so much for watching and checking out the stream. Kag, Killer Arcade Games, appreciate you joining in and talking Killer Instinct. Rev, put your quarters in a glass. Always a pleasure. Have a wonderful evening, everybody. We'll see you next time. Thanks for watching. See you later, everybody. Bye.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks.